巴西帕拉伊巴碧玺开采陷入困局，未来成谜。
Paraiba tourmaline, named after the location where it was first found and its most famous location to date, the state of Paraiba in Brazil. Now, this gem was discovered by a man called Heitor Barbosa. 1989, he brought a new electric blue, electric green, or combinations of electric green and blue tourmaline to the market. Colors like had never been seen before. In fact, it was at first very difficult for him to sell the material because people were looking at the rough and saying, this is some kind of new treatment, you've done something. No gemstone could have this type of neon electric color. But the Gemological Institute of America did a research and showed it to be of natural color and a natural tourmaline. But the original rough that he had a lot of trouble selling it, and for very, very little money in the beginning. The biggest production period was probably between 1989 and 1991, with around 10,000 to 15,000 grams of gem quality material. It was probably the time period with the best fine quality material produced from Brazil. I remember in 1990, I saw some faceted, electric blue like you hardly ever see today. These kind of neon colors that were coming into the market. And I can tell you at that time, let's say a 5-carat stone, fine quality with a top color, $500 to $700 a carat. If you can imagine, that stone today could go for $200,000 to $300,000 a carat, easily in the market. So you can see the increase in price. Now there is production going on for Brazilian Paraiba tourmaline, and Guild has done field expeditions there, President Ruby Liu and myself. But that is not in Paraiba. It's just across the state border into a different state, Rio Grande do Norte. And there you have the MTB Paraiba mine. This mining operation is much different than the mining operations in Paraiba, in the Batalha area. In the Batalha area, you have a relatively soft host rock called kaolin, and you can actually dig the crystals out with your fingers in some cases. The MTB Paraiba mine in Rio Grande do Norte, that is a much harder rock. You're dealing with feldspar and some quartz. So the mining is actually more difficult. They do blasting to get the Paraiba tourmaline to reach the pockets. So they constantly go through this process where they drill holes in the hard rock, place explosives in those holes, and then from a detonator, push a button and do the blast. Then they remove the material and they see if they have indicator material. Black tourmaline is an indicator. The inexpensive black tourmaline is an indicator you may be getting to one of the most expensive gems in the world, Paraiba tourmaline. Once they start to reach the Paraiba tourmaline, then they carefully remove the material by hand. That material goes to optical sorters where they sort it out, and then to hand sorting, and then they sort it for size and quality. And much of the production is cut right there in Brazil, right near the mine, by expert Brazilian cutters. Now the material coming out of the MTB mine, that's usually melee-sized material. So they're cutting this precision cut melee that even in the small sizes, the Brazilian material holds that electric, that extremely vivid neon blue color. And brands, watch manufacturers, and others will pay a great deal of money for this top color, fine quality Paraiba tourmaline in melee sizes. Of course, they occasionally find a larger stone, and that will command a large amount of money. Now, other mines also started producing in that area in the state of Paraiba. But today, that original area where the Batalha mine was and other mines started in the state of Paraiba, very, very little production is coming out, almost no production. And it's not that there's probably no material still there. There probably is, but there's various lawsuits and other types of situations going on that is really preventing mining at this time, although some parties are trying to unify everyone and get production going again. That would be amazing if they ever could.
25年暴涨600倍，巴西帕